And we are back from Claremont, where they are underway about 15 minutes early. In the second game of the day for the College of Staten Island, they take on Franklin Pierce University. We'll get you the lineups for both teams shortly. We just input them into our stats software, so you'll have to bear with us for a couple of minutes as we get everything set up properly. But the Dolphins come in 5-0. They're off to a really nice start on the young season. And down here in Florida, Joe, their pitching has been phenomenal, and the Bats have scored 4 runs or more in every game.
Absolutely, and the one thing that I will say of the first 3 games is that a majority of the Dolphins' runs have come early in the first couple of innings, and after that, the offense has kind of not totally gone cold. They've found hits here and there, but they haven't able to put runs across in the middle to later innings. So that is something that we're going to see here in this game, and it is Kennedy Ruth who once again earns the start. She had the start in yesterday's second game and earned the win, so we'll see what she's able to do today.
Ruth was great yesterday, 5 scoreless innings. And she misses high there. Now I'm still inputting the lineup, still trying to get the live stats up on my screen. I believe the count is 3-1, Joe.
Well, we have the benefit of actually having a working scoreboard, even though the pad is in front of us, so again, it's on the onus on the home team to take it and help us. Nobody from their dugout has yet, so we'll see if that changes in the first inning or so.
The count is now full, 3-2. All right.
There you go. Thank you, sir. See, I talk, people listen.
Well, Joe, I think actually what should have happened is someone from our team should have come and gotten it, but we'll manage.
Oh, that's right. We're the home team in the second game.
Yes.
Yes.
There's ball 4. The game opens with a walk. It was Andy Anderson leading off for Franklin Pierce. Have to get our live stats pushing quickly, and then I think we're all set.
Whoever that nice gentleman was, I believe he saw me finishing the food and was like, you know what? Let's offer a helping hand.
I think he believed you were supposed to be operating the board. They were probably over there bad-mouthing you. Look at this guy sitting there eating his tacos, not doing his job. All right, live stats, good to go.
We're good to go.
We have to admit, Joe and I were in line for food when they were about to start the game. We expected a 4:15 start. Should have known better.
But thankfully, everybody moved quick, and again,
everybody being us.
Everybody being us.
Perhaps not so thankfully. The teams moved very quickly getting started, but no reason to delay.
I still think that's a favor to us, even though we were online.
And Ruth misses there. The count now 2-1. Starting lineup is greatly cut off in terms of names for Franklin Pierce, so I won't even try and read that off of Stat Crew. We're going to have to go one batter at a time, as I mentioned before, and that gets through Motley and into left field for a base hit. And with that error, the Ravens now have 2 on. And I think Motley lost that play by trying to play it on the backhand.
Yes, I think so as well.
That is a tough chance on the backhand, and with that error, first 2 batters have reached for Franklin Pierce. As I mentioned, Andy Anderson was the leadoff batter. Batting second was Haley Bigwood. At the plate now, and batting third is Bella Williams. Behind her in the cleanup spot will be Kaylee Frond. As that's ripped into left field for a base hit, and it gets under the glove of Cohen and all the way to triple.
I'm going to give it a triple, too.
It's a triple.
I'm going to give it a triple, too. It's a very, very difficult to play to make.
Yeah.
I thought the cutoff throw was very good, and the base runner just beat the tag in at third. So I'm all right with giving it a triple as well.
I think the issue with a play like that is knowing you're not going to get there, the priority has to be to keep it in front of you. And
Right.
it looked like Cohen tried to make the catch and did not prioritize keeping the ball in front of her, which
Still,
obviously
that's a very
hurt.
difficult play to make.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we'll give it a triple.
we're going to give it a triple.
Certainly won't get any complaints from Williams.
So in the first game here, yesterday, the Dolphins quickly went down 1-0 and then quickly went down 2-1. And then they came back to win that game 4-3. So this is the first time that we've seen the Dolphins here in these first 2 days trail by multiple runs.
That goes to first. Acosta looks the runner back, and that is a great play,
an excellent play
by Anissa Acosta.
Very alert play. Use the baseline to her advantage, and look down the runner at third, who stays at third.
That's a big first out, and perhaps an opportunity here for Ruth to limit the damage to 2. It's not looking good with a runner on third and nobody out, but perhaps an opportunity now. At the plate is Charlotte Hartenstein, and she looks at ball 1.
Now, if Nick Durst was here, you know exactly what he would say.
What is that?
Well, being we are from New York and we are Knicks fans, I'm going to let you figure out the rest.
I don't know if he'd go right there. It's a big stretch. That's a big stretch. That's fouled away to count even at 1.
I believe it is spelled the same way, too.
Yes. Have to admit, I was not pleased when he walked, but I think the Knicks made the most of the situation.
He was an excellent piece for them.
He was.
Very important. Very, very important.
Most importantly, he was healthy and playing. And I think right now, they lack that second center that is consistently in the lineup.
Yep, that's what they need Mitch Robinson for. But as
Yeah.
it stands now, let's see if Hartenstein here is valuable for the Ravens with the runner on third.
There's a swing and a miss. Count even at 2. Ruth 1 strike away from a big punch out. Dolphins infield is in, trailing 2-0. 2-2 pitch to Hartenstein on the way. And that's down and away for ball 3. Count full now, 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch. That's chopped toward the middle. Warner got a glove on it, but a tough chance there with the drawn in infield. And it's going to be an RBI single for Hartenstein. Williams in to score. And it's 3-0 in favor of the Ravens. At the plate now will be Amy Jones. Jones, a left-handed batter. And she looks at ball 1. One 1-0 pitch on its way. Jones showing bunt, does bunt it foul, and the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Hartenstein, the runner at first, still just 1 out. Here in the road first inning, Franklin Pierce over Staten Island, 3-0. That's chopped foul. This is a position the Dolphins have not been in through their first 5 games. At no point have they trailed by multiple runs. That's if memory serves anyway. That's fouled off. They certainly haven't trailed by multiple runs on this trip.
Like I said, a majority of the runs now in their first 4 games for each team that they have faced came in the first couple of innings.
Jones slapping that ball to the left side just foul, stays alive 1-2.
Ravens doing an excellent job of working the count in their favor here early on.
Applause from the Franklin Pierce dugout ahead of the 1-2. That's fouled off. Well, the Ravens have made Ruth work here in this first inning.
She didn't work too much yesterday.
No. There were a couple of innings where she got in trouble. One and two. Chopped foul again.
Ruth trying to work the outer portion of the plate. And what is that, the fourth foul ball of this at bat?
Yeah, I think 4 or 5. There is, I believe, a pitch sequence if you enable that feature on the sidearm live stats. I'm not sure if I did. I don't think I did. I should, though. I should.
You should.
Why would that be off by default? As once again, Jones slaps it foul.
I believe that was number 5. So you're really making Ruth work here in the first inning.
These are all effectively swinging bunts. These are half swings.
Yeah, these are protect the play type of swings.
And Motley is so far in at this point where if she takes a conventional cut, it would be almost impossible for Motley to make the play. It's fouled off again. These at-bats have to be frustrating for a pitcher. The batter is effectively attempting swinging bunts.
She's locked in on that outer portion of the plate. Let's see if she kind of deviates a little bit. She's been going low and away. Let's see if she goes back inside maybe a little bit, maybe a little higher.
1 and 2. Lofted out to left, and once again foul.
I'll tell you something. That pitch location was a little up, little in, not quite where she wanted it. And a very inside-out swing, and she still powered it the other way down the left field line, but foul.
Well, that last swing was certainly no swinging bunt, Joe.
No, absolutely not. It was a good swing, good at cut, good effort.
Here comes another 1 and 2 pitch. We've been stuck on 1 and 2 for a while, and we're going to be stuck here a bit longer. And Cohen now, racing for that ball on foul ground, is down to her knees. Looked like she was grabbing at a hamstring.
Yeah, it looks like she pulled a hamstring immediately.
That's what it looked like, but we'll see what comes of this now as the Dolphins' left fielder is down in foul territory. So as they attend to Cohen, Joe and I will step off headset and take a quick break. Our score in the top half of the first inning, Franklin Pierce over Staten Island 3-0. The Ravens still batting with a runner on and just 1 out. And we are back from Claremont, where Cohen was carried off the field from left field. She could not put any weight on her leg. Bridget Motley made her way to the outfield and carried Cohen to the dugout. So Cohen's out, and Alyssa Acosta is in. Meanwhile,
that Kennedy Ruth who got the better of Jones in that at bat as Jones grounded right back to her. And we had a 1-3 put out right before we came back on.
And there's a rocket shot to right center. That will score another run. Anna Erickson with an extra base hit into the gap is heading for third. And she is in sliding with an RBI triple as Franklin Pierce goes in front 4-0. Each run scored from here forward will be unearned. But the Ravens now are out to an early 4-run lead. At the plate now, Taylor Ellis, and she looks at ball 1. Comes the 1-0. Swing and a miss.
It'll be very interesting to see what head coach Tracy Garofalo does for the remainder of this game, because as we mentioned, Kennedy Ruth got the start in game 2 yesterday. 4 runs, very difficult but not insurmountable hole right now for the Dolphins here in the first half frame. But there have been pitchers that Garofalo has not used yet. And she did mention that she's going to be trying to tinkering with who comes into the game, who hasn't seen at-bats yet, who hasn't seen the circle yet. So it'll be very interesting to see how long of a leash she gives Kennedy Ruth here, and especially in the early innings.
I think a lot of that really comes down to how the Dolphins perform at the plate moving forward in this game. The Dolphins end up behind by 6 runs plus. I think that certainly factors into the decision. As Ruth misses inside with ball 4. So on a 3-1 pitch, Ruth walks Ellis. And it's been a really tough first inning that in part was prolonged by the injury and then in part prolonged by the error as the Dolphins got caught napping and Erickson stole home. Wow. You don't see that too often, Joe.
No, you don't. It almost seemed like Ruth and Warner at second were looking to meet up. And the runner at third there kind of caught that exchange, found the opportunity, started making her way down, and yeah, that counts as a stolen base.
That is a steal of home, and Ellis advances to second on the throw. I'm surprised Stat Crew didn't flag that one too. At the plate now, Danielle Beliveau. Beliveau ahead in the count 1-0. Ravens now lead at 5-0 in the first inning. The Dolphins yet to bat. And Beliveau lofts one. Foul ground, left field line, out of play.
Slice just close enough to the fence that Acosta, who is now in at left, could not get there. She had a read on it. She had a beat on it. And I think if it hung up for another second or two, she may have been able to make a play on it.
We're going to learn a lot about this Dolphins team here in this game, trailing by 5 runs early, second game of the day. As Beliveau fouls off one into the Coliseum. That's what we're calling Field 1. There actually is a game going on.
There is a game going on there, but the nets extend well beyond the scope of the families who are sitting in the bleachers.
There's a dribbler back to the circle. Ruth has it, and she throws out Beliveau to retire the side. But not before the Ravens score 5 times. They do it on just 3 base hits, 1 Dolphins error along the way. CSI comes to bat for the first time in this game, trailing 5-0. Dolphins come to bat for the first time here in the bottom half of the first inning, trailing 5-0. Mariah Carcano at the plate looks at ball 1. And Joe, we said it before we went to break. We're about to learn a lot about this Dolphins team. They have not been in a spot like this yet on this trip. Second game of the day. What do they do from here? As Carcano grounds one to first, and she's quickly retired for out number 1. That will bring up Eileen Balderas.
Character work doesn't hurt.
1 second. What'd you ask, Joe?
No, learning about your resolve, little character work. That's not necessarily the worst thing in the world.
I'll tell you, when
bad things happen.
When somebody says to you that a certain event builds character, usually that's not good news. It means bad news for you. Something bad happened.
Well, just because something bad happened doesn't mean something good can't come from it.
Spoken like a true intuitive.
That's right. True INFJ.
Let's not get into that here. I still say there's no way I'm not a thinker, as that's taken low by Balderas.
Listen, you're a thinking man's thinker.
Yeah, sure. Count 1-1 on Balderas.
Up to this point, I think Balderas has been the Dolphins' best overall hitter through these first 4 games.
That was the case last year as Balderas fouls that one away. Balderas could not have gotten off to a hotter start on this trip last year.
And that foul ball went to the one place where we don't really have netting over here.
Heads up. We have netting where it matters, over the equipment.
It's expensive equipment.
Well, let's not get carried away. I wish. Count now even at 2 on Balderas. Our mixer is about the size of my hand. The headsets, about the same.
Yep.
And they're not overhead. They're microphones on our neck here.
What I was going to say is, on my previous pitch, that was a very good take by Balderas. That was a very close pitch.
I'm fairly certain our headsets are meant to be worn headband style around the back of the head.
Right. I'm wearing it on my neck.
Yeah, I mean,
It's actually on my neck because my neck
Hey,
is huge.
we don't skip neck day in the gym, so we can fill out these headsets. I was in the gym this morning before I came here. Meanwhile, they're dusting off the plate. You're not missing any action.
The hotel gym, you were telling me.
Very nice gym.
Very nice gym. All the sets of weights that you would need.
Well, not all of them. I can go past 75 on the dumbbells, Joe. Bit of a flex there. 2-2 on Balderas. That's fouled away again.
Well beyond our reach. This time did not almost hit anybody.
Well beyond our reach is a good place for it, Joe.
So like Jones in the top of the first inning for the Ravens, Balderas here fouling off a couple.
And she's run it full, 3-2.
Really, really good at bat here. Very engaging at bat, and this is the kind of at bat where the Dolphins, you kind of need this.
Dolphins, at the very least, do not want to go down in order quickly. If you're going to go down in order, go down like this, fighting, battling at the plate. Ideally, you'd like to get some base runners.
And you need that pitch count up, up, up.
And Balderas fouls off another. So Balderas continues to battle. He's been a long at bat. I believe this is going to be pitch number 8 from Kennedy Morris to Balderas.
She's fouled off 3, correct?
I believe so. Maybe more than that. Could be 4. And Balderas grounds one to short. Knocked down on the backhand throw across the diamond in time.
Nice recovery there by the shortstop.
Good play there on the backhand at short to retire Balderas. As Bigwood knocked it down and made the throw across the diamond. 2 away. And now Anissa Acosta will be the batter. Acosta in the early game, 1 for 3 with a walk. Each of the first 3 batters in the Dolphins lineup here in game 2 had a hit in the early game. Carcano 1 for 4, Balderas 1 for 4, Acosta 1 for 3. Acosta ahead 1-0. And she takes a called strike.
Definitely seems like their plate approach, Joe, is trying to take as many pitches as they possibly can, because once again, you want to try to get that pitch count up a little bit.
That's fouled away.
So it seems like the Dolphins, as of right now, they're on these pitches slightly off, but on it nonetheless, fouling a lot of pitches straight behind them.
Count 1-2 on Acosta. And she looks at the off-speed pitch outside. 2-2 now. Acosta was designated player in game 1. Gets the start at first base here in game 2. Though this is not a true doubleheader. 2 separate opponents. As Acosta grounds one through the middle for a base hit.
Nicely placed, just to the left of the shortstop, who made a terrific defensive play on the previous batter, Balderas. So 2-out hit by Acosta here. And the Dolphins keeping the first inning alive, and once again making the pitcher work a little bit. If you're going to try to chip away in this game, that's what you're going to have to do.
Olivia Warner, the batter now. Warner in the cleanup spot. Olivia Wanzer on deck. Warner in game 1 was 0 for 3 with a walk. Did score a run as she fouls that one back. We do know Warner has some pop in that bat. Certainly a candidate to take 2 runs off the lead with a big swing here. And Joe, I don't know if it's just me. This field looks a bit more spacious.
It does. I think that's down the left and the right field lines. I think there's a little more space between the chalk and the fences, or where the chalk would be, right?
I'd be inclined to think that the fields are all the same dimensions as
Yes.
the count evens up at 1-1 on Warner.
Yes, I think from...
I think it's the grass behind the fence that makes it look that way. As Warner takes low. 2-1.
Once again, Joe, another good at bat.
Unofficially, Morris now at about 18 pitches. I think that's accurate. Don't believe I've missed any in this half inning. Comes the 2-1. And that's fouled back. 2-2. Two balls and two strikes to count on the Dolphins' second baseman. Acosta, the runner at first. Warner awaits the 2-2 pitch. And Warner hits one sharply to second. Handled there. And Warner is thrown out to retire the side. Dolphins strand one in the first following the two-out hit by Anissa Acosta. They trail 5-0 as we head to the second. And we're back for the Road's second inning. Top of the order for the Ravens here. Andy Anderson, the batter, is quickly ahead 2-0. Kennedy Ruth back to the circle for the Dolphins. Got tagged for 5 runs in the first inning. Only allowed 3 hits. There was an error in there as well. I believe 3 of those runs ended up being earned. Double check our live stats for that right now.
Yeah, we had 2 triples in that inning.
Two earned runs.
So 2 of the 5 were earned.
Yes. That pitch is in for a strike. Count now 3-1 on Anderson.
Unfortunately, Joe, it seems like that laptop's a little worn down.
Yeah. Funny story about that.
There's always a funny story.
Count now full on Anderson, 3-2 after a called strike. And I'll tell you the story after this at bat.
The suspense.
It's 3-2 now. That's fouled away. So very quickly, I came on this trip for the first time in 2019. At that time, I was the assistant SID. The laptop was very dirty from all the dirt and dust blowing back toward it behind the plate. So I wanted to clean it when I got home. Finish the story after this pitch. 3-2.
Suspense again.
The suspense. I am known as quite the storyteller. That's hit softly to short. Balderas has to hurry. And Anderson is out. So I wanted to clean the laptop. I got home, and I thought I had some rubbing alcohol, some isopropyl alcohol. That's my go-to whenever I'm cleaning my video games and my consoles. I deal in those 2 on eBay. I dabble from time to time.
Sure.
Well, I was still living at home in 2019, and I grabbed what I thought was isopropyl alcohol. It was nail polish remover.
Oh, boy.
It was an unmarked plastic container.
Oh, man.
And it melted the surface
Lord.
of the laptop. So that is why the laptop looks like that.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Not in the good way.
Yeah, it was rather foolish on my part, I must admit. Haley Bigwood, the batter here. She's ahead 1-0.
It's all right. We all have those moments.
One might say I had a Calabozo moment. Because that's in for a strike.
Well played. Well timed.
Count 1-1 on the Ravens shortstop. And that's hit to the left side, deep in the hole. Balderas across the diamond, just in time with the throw. 2 gone.
I tell you something. It looked like at first Motley was making that play to her left, and it looked like she was going to try to make a play on it. And it seemed like it was out of her reach. But Balderas backing her up incredibly well well timed again. Another strong throw to first, and she has the first 2 putouts of this inning.
Bella Williams will be the batter here. Williams 1 for 1 with a couple of RBIs, and she's hit by the pitch. I'm not sure I've ever seen a hitter look so perturbed to be hit by the ball. Did you see the expression on her face?
Yeah, she had a really...
a look of disgust.
A disdain.
Yeah.
She was mean mugging down to first base.
She wanted to swing.
She wanted to swing. I don't blame her.
Kaylee Frond is the batter. Frond 0 for 1. Well, I'll tell you about one time I was hit by a pitch as the runner is going and the throw is high. Stolen base for Williams. Anyway, I was playing in the CYO All-Star game. And obviously you want to make a good impression in the All-Star game. I think the first pitch I saw, I got hit on the foot. I could not have jogged down to first base any faster. I was on base in the All-Star game. There's a strike to Frond, 1-1. The 1-1. Hit in the air. Shallow right center. Could be trouble, and nobody will get there. The 6th Ravens run comes in to score on a bloop single by Kaylee
And they
Frond.
have the Ravens runner on a rundown.
What happened there?
So what happened was the Ravens runner was about a third of the way. She didn't really make the turn back to first. And the Dolphins successfully caught her napping. So that'll do it here. For the
So
top
officially,
of
what was the putout? Was it 9-4-6, I think?
It was 9-4, yes, 9-4-6.
Okay, 9-4-6.
Yes.
All right. That'll do it. For the road second, Franklin Pierce over Staten Island, 6-0. Olivia Wanzer, the batter, to lead off for the Dolphins here in the home second inning. CSI now trailing 6-0. Wanzer quickly ahead, 1-0. Pitch on its way. In the dirt, ball 2. Wanzer in game 1 was 1 for 2 with a walk. Scored a run. And all of a sudden now, Joe, Dolphins have gone 7 innings without scoring. And Wanzer hoping to change that, but didn't get enough of it. As chasing that one down
I'll tell you
in the
something.
left center field gap was Williams.
She did an excellent job tracking that down. Based on our vantage point, it seemed like she had a little real estate between her and the fence. Used that to her advantage. Wanzer really, really lifted that, and I think that hung up just a little bit too much. I think if that was hit a little more on a liner, that would have been able to drop, and she would have been able to get to second for a double. But as it stands, great play by the left fielder there.
Wanzer was just a bit out in front of that ball. And now the batter will be Bridget Motley. Motley ahead 1-0. At the plate in game 1, she was 1 for 3 with the 3 RBI double as Bigwood knocks down another and throws high. Motley will hold it first as she reaches on the E6.
So a couple of misplays here from the first 2 frames by the shortstop. Dolphins the beneficiary of that and an errant throw. So we have a runner on first with 1 out.
Despite the initial misplay, good throw had her, but obviously had to rush it once the ball was bobbled. And now Amanda Stalker will be the batter. Stalker did not play in game 1, started in right field yesterday.
She hit cleanup both games, I believe.
First pitch on its way. Down and in, ball 1.
Now let me ask you a question, Joe. Stalker over here, classic 1 glove look. Front glove, backhand, no glove. How many times have we seen that?
I haven't seen it many. As Bigwood gets another chance and gets the out at second.
So the Dolphins will trade runners as Stalker grounds to the shortstop, and they elect for the fielder's choice. 2 dead.
We can't say that, Joe.
That's right. That'll 2 outs.
That's right.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely can't say that. You got to watch out for that. You got to watch out for variations of bunts.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Well, that's the YouTube algorithm for you, and we're on YouTube today. As that misses down and into Madeline Paul for ball one. Going to come back tomorrow, and it's going to say your video has violated the terms of service.
Once again, a bunch of malarkey.
That's right. I have another word for it, but you can't say that on the stream either.
No, I'm definitely not going to say that word. Ball looks like it's just going to get out, and it will.
That is just foul.
It's the top of the dugout.
Well, foul, but just out of play.
Some guy over there by the Coliseum is a little startled. Did not expect that souvenir.
He flinched?
I'll be honest, he didn't flinch.
Okay, he didn't flinch.
But he made a motion after the ball had made contact.
I have a completely unrelated question that I have to know the answer to. We may have to wait until in between innings. Speaking of flinching and flailing. As that ball's hit pretty well, left center field. Another chance out there, and another play in the gap by Williams.
A fly ball that hung up just a little too much for the Dolphins.
Before we go to break, Joe, speaking of flinching and flailing, do you flinch and flail at the sight of an insect near your face?
No.
Thank you. That's all I need to know.
There's a story we have coming out of the break about that.
Awesome. We'll be right back. Third inning from the spring games in Claremont. Dolphins trail 6-0. Ravens will send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate here. Make that 5, 6, and 7. And that ball is sent all the way to the right field wall. Charlotte Hartenstein with a long leadoff double on the first pitch of the inning. That might be as well struck of a ball as we've seen on this trip. And I think that's going to be all for Kennedy Ruth.
Looks like we're going to have some changes here as well.
Looks like we're going to have changes on both sides. Dolphins are going to make a pitching change here.
Looks like we have a pinch runner coming in for Hartenstein, who is behind the plate, so that would make sense. And for the Dolphins, we have a pitching change.
What's the number, Joe, on the pinch runner? Can you see it? I think it was 20.
I think it was 22. Let's see. The umpire's coming in. He's going to give us the official. We were correct.
And the best for a reason, Joe. So we'll get those put in here.
So as we have pitching warm-ups here, we'll tell the story that I teased
Go ahead.
Coming out.
Let's do it.
So because we were on the topic of insects and creepy crawlers and all this stuff, head coach Tracy Garofalo yesterday showed me a picture of what was a really large cockroach in one of the Dolphins players' houses that they're staying in. And when I tell you that this sucker was huge, you ever seen a water bug or a silverfish? It was
I've seen
big. And head coach Tracy Garofalo, she really supports her team enough where she ended up having to go there and kill that sucker for them. They had to get it out of their house. So kudos to Coach Tracy going above and beyond for her Dolphins players.
Well, our viewers at home got a look at the commentary table for about 30 seconds there during story time. Meanwhile, the new Dolphins picture.
Am I in this frame?
Oh, you were in the frame.
Oh, I was.
No, I turned it. You were very much. All of your hand gesturing, the gesticulating, the Italian coming out, the emoting that was shaking the table yesterday with the camera on it.
That we weren't.
All of that was appearing on camera there. The correct answer, Joe, was what camera?
That is right.
There was no camera.
There was no camera.
There was no camera.
Nobody saw anything.
All I saw was a cell phone. It was
a really
selfie.
Old cell phone that you don't even use anymore.
It was in selfie mode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Meanwhile, at the plate here, the count on Amy Jones is 2-1. And time is called. So there was a pinch runner as well, in addition to the pitching change.
And I was number 20 who came into the game for 33.
That's Zoe Galindo over at second base, the pinch runner. Jones, the batter. The new pitcher for the Dolphins, Brooklyn Meller. We didn't see too much of Meller last year. I do believe she got into a game down here in Florida, but that could have been one of the games I did not call. Have to double check. But
Ravens' early performance for forcing Coach Garofalo's hand a little bit. Once again, seeing what she has with her depth pitchers at the moment.
Well, up until these last two innings, the Dolphins pitching was on quite the scoreless stretch. They did not allow a run in each of their last two full games and allowed 3 runs in the first game. The scoreless streak was at 15 innings at the start of this one. And Jones thought she had ball 4. Instead, it's a called strike 2. So the count's full, 3-2.
Another mean mugging look from a Raven. And
They mean business out there.
And it was Jones in the first inning who had that incredibly long battling at bat. So once again, a full count for her.
Slap hitter often such a tough strikeout.
Looks like she went, and she did.
Not this time, as Jones goes down swinging. Half swing.
Really nice pitch on the outer portion of the plate over there.
That will bring up Anna Erickson. 1 away in the inning. Erickson 1 for 1 with a run batted in. And she looks at a strike. Comes the 0-1. Off-speed pitch, catches the corner, and it's quickly 0-2. Meller now with a chance for back-to-back strikeouts.
And she seems to be working the outer portion of the plate to the righties and lefties as well.
Comes the 0-2. Way upstairs. One and 2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Dolphins infield was in, and that allowed Galindo to steal third base. Back-to-back strikeouts for Meller, but Galindo moves up to third. 2 away now, and Taylor Ellis is the batter. Ellis, without an official at-bat, walked her first time up. And here she takes a called strike 1.
Since Meller has come in for these last 3 batters, Joe, she's gotten ahead in the count every single time.
It always makes your job easier as a pitcher. She's been aggressive around the strike zone as that's blooped into shallow right center. And this time, the Dolphins are able to get there. And the side is retired. Ravens strand a runner at third. They tack on 1 more and now lead Staten Island 6-0. All right, Joe and I are here. However, we are sorting out substitutions for the Ravens right now. They made several changes. So Joe and I will step off headset, and we will be right back as soon as we get all of these changes sorted out. Quite a bit to sort through here for us at the Stats Desk. All right, we're back.
Yep.
So the way the changes were passed along to us, we were told that the DP went to the 5 spot, which made us think the 5th spot in the order. What should have been said was the DP went to third base, which we figured out after a few seconds. That ended the hang-up, and we're all good to go. So there are some changes. Ellis behind the plate now, as Eileen Balderas sends one right back up the middle into center field for a base hit. There are 2 outs here in the road 3rd inning. Alyssa Acosta struck out swinging, and Mariah Carcano hit a dribbler in front of the plate.
And then it was Eileen Balderas here, the Dolphins' best player of the weekend so far, who grounded right past the shortstop again for another hit. So we have 1 on with 2 outs. We have Anissa Acosta to the plate, and we're done resetting. Acosta. Anissa and Alyssa
Well,
Acosta.
Joe.
We have TJ at the plate, right?
Yes.
That's right.
So I just filled Joe in on the correct pronunciation of Anissa's last name. I had us muted for a minute, Joe. I unmuted the mic just for you to go, Acosta. Exclaiming it nice and loud, but
Right.
Joe has it right now.
But we have TJ at the plate, and TJ rips one to left, and that's going to get into the gap.
And that may bring home the first Dolphins run.
Absolutely.
Balderas rounding third, and she will score.
There you go. CSI is on the board. Big hit there. Big hit by Acosta.
An RBI double for Anissa Acosta has made it a 5-run game again. It's now 6-1 Ravens.
And I'll tell you something, Joe. That is the third rip of this game for the Dolphins. The first two to left kind of hung up there just enough for the left fielder to make a play. That one kind of got down just a little bit, like I said, it needed to before. We have the first Dolphins run. So once again, battling. They've had good at-bats despite the fact that they're now back down by 5. But they're making the pitcher work. And I think they have an opportunity here in the next couple of innings to continue chipping away slowly.
Well, it's going to take a good shot to get it into the gap against this Ravens outfield. And we saw that right there from Acosta. Meanwhile, Olivia Warner has a 1-1 count. Acosta stands over at second base. The Dolphins trail 6-1. Pitch on its way, and that's high for ball 2. Some life now in that CSI dugout. We've heard plenty of noise and plenty of applause on the other side in this game.
Howard TJ to an RBI double. Let's see what it does for Warner here.
Foul ball, 2-2. Count on Warner, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 gone here in the home third. Pitch on its way. Popped up. Shallow right center. And charging in to make the catch was Anderson. Dolphins settle for 1 in the third. Their deficit is 5. Our score through 3. Franklin Pierce 6, Staten Island 1. And we are back for the road 4th inning. Franklin Pierce leading Staten Island 6-1. And that's lined straight to third where Bridget Motley is waiting to make the grab. Retired on 2 pitches was Danielle Bellevaux, and there's 1 away. That will bring up Andy Anderson. I just got word that our baseball doubleheader scheduled for Wednesday has been canceled.
Now, is that due to weather or other
Rain.
factors? Yep.
Due to rain.
Due to rain.
It has not rained at all in the now week plus that I've been down here.
And usually when you're in Florida, mostly nice weather, but you'll get a stray spot shower, thunderstorm. Always happens. But for the 3 days that I've been down here, nothing but clear weather.
Count 2-1 now on Anderson with that pitch missing high. The weather has been immaculate throughout this entire trip with the exception of some cold days in Myrtle Beach. It was freezing in Myrtle Beach and it rained before I touched down in Fort Myers, and it has not rained since. Ground was soaked when I got off the plane as it runs to 3-1. Anderson awaits the 3-1 pitch.
Seems like she was taking all the way there. Now the count is full at 3-2.
Well, Meller hasn't given up anything yet.
She's been very effective since she came in for Kennedy Ruth in relief.
Payoff pitch on its way. Off the outside corner, ball 4. Riley Bigwood, the batter here, as Anderson will be the runner at first. Got some instruction from the third base coaching box.
Come on!
Bigwood 0 for 2 at the plate. Runner going. Throw from Paul to second, not nearly in time.
So I believe that is the Ravens' second stolen base of the game.
I do believe that is correct. So it looks like right now there is some protest from the Dolphins' dugout. Could they be contending that the runner left early, or perhaps something else? I'm not sure. I can't imagine what else the protest would be.
Come on, Pichu.
Right now, we sit and wait. And now the action's set to resume. So, don't know what the dispute was in the Dolphins' dugout, and Joe may have to find out for us later, do some investigative reporting.
Well,
And Bigwood takes a strike.
Come on.
2-strike count now. Anderson stands on second, one away here in the fourth. That pitch sails high.
Money!
Again, Meller misses. Count even at 2.
seems like she's trying to get Bigwood to chase up the shoot. So from 0-2, the count is leveled off at 2-2.
Comes the 2-2. That's it pretty well out to left. Acosta ranging back to make the catch. And there are 2 gone.
Hey, nice rip, kid.
Kind of take a couple of steps back, but nothing too much. Successfully able to get under that. And just like that, Joe, we got 2 outs.
Just seems like left field has been where fly balls go to die in this game. It's been really tough to find that gap out there. At the plate now is Bella Williams, and she takes ball 1. Williams 1 for 1 with a couple of runs batted in this game. Comes the 1-0. Inside. The 2-0 pitch coming. Chopped foul. And the count is now 2-1. Crushed foul. Williams turned on that one.
That also reached the Coliseum.
Yeah, you know, when I see stadium-style all-stone seating, what else can you call it? It's also on a hillside. It's a really nice setting.
It's a very nice setting.
Kind of like a stadium you'd see as the runner heads for third on the missed pitch. That was ball 3. And An easy stolen base for Anderson. Anderson now on third.
So now a hit. Likely, surely score that run. So that's a big stolen base here for the Ravens.
Now looking at where the Dolphins outfield is playing, and they're playing pretty deep.
They are.
And they were played perfectly.
They
Stalker
were
makes the
playing
catch on the line drive to right, and the side is retired. But what I was going to say is any ground ball to the outfield, the run was going to score from second anyway. Regardless, the Ravens are turned aside in the fourth. And we are back for the home fourth inning. Dolphins trail 6-1 as that's at a mile high by Olivia Wanzer. And the catch is made by the shortstop Bigwood in shallow center field.
She has put two powerful swings on the ball today. One she just missed, and one she just got underneath.
That will bring up Bridget Motley. Motley 0 for 1 at the plate in this game. She takes low for ball one. Comes the 1-0. That's hit well to center, but Motley just got a bit under it, and very quickly there are two gone.
Feels like the wind kind of also kept that one in as well, Joe.
Two very quick outs here in the home fourth, and Amanda Stalker will be the batter.
Tell you something, the 6-1 score, that one bad inning continuing to haunt the Dolphins, but they put a bunch of really good swings on the ball in this game.
Stalker takes a strike. Stalker 0 for 1 at the plate. And that misses high. 1-1. The 1-1 is outside. Count now 2-1 on Stalker. And Stalker chased one in the dirt. Count now even at 2.
Yeah, not a good decision, Joe, to chase that low pitch.
And the 2-2 misses up and away. So Stalker has worked it full after the Dolphins made two very quick outs to start the inning. And that's ripped foul.
Coach Tracy getting out of the way of that. Showing those quick cat-like reflexes.
Oh, yeah?
She had to put those reflexes to use in order to kill that cockroach.
Did you know Tracy was an elite college basketball player?
Was she elite?
Yeah.
I
know
knew
that?
she played basketball. I didn't know how
Very
good of a
good.
player she was.
She needs to get in on those staff games. Maybe we'll win one. As that's popped up again. And the catch is made on the infield at second to retire the side. Dolphins go down 1-2-3 in the fourth. The score remains 6-1 Ravens. Fifth inning from Claremont. Brooklyn Meller back to the circle for the Dolphins, and she's pitched well since coming in. None of the 6 runs have been charged to her. She faces Kaylee Frond here, and Frond looks at strike. Frond 1 for 2 at the plate with a run batted in. That's hit to short. Balderas there waiting, and she throws out Frond for out number 1. So, I don't know if Zoe Galindo came out of the game after pinch running and is now back in as a pinch hitter, or if she just stayed in the lineup. Because we were told that 33 was the OP, right, Joe?
Yes.
All right, so she's pinch hitting here. Maybe staying in the game, not sure.
So she came in as a pinch runner for 33, who is Hartenstein, who is the catcher. So
Well, we're going to put her in the DH spot for now, which is the OP spot for softball. Galindo ahead, 1-0. Looks at a strike. But
unfortunately, folks, you will not be able to order, get the ice cream.
I wonder if that came
watch.
over clearly.
I mean, that was very, very loud. That had to have been picked up in some way.
It's Mo's Monday. I know where I'm going after the game. That pitch is taken outside.
We got Mo's Monday. We got Monday Night Raw.
John Cena taking 3 weeks off until the end of the month.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who John Cena is,
Well, everyone knows who John Cena is.
everybody kind of has a working idea, I think, of who The Rock and John Cena is. When you
Yeah.
go from a good guy to a bad guy, it's a big deal.
Yep. Fun moment.
Fun moment. Back to the game.
Count 3-1 on Galindo. And I don't think she swung the bat, Joe.
I don't think she has swung the bat
That's
either.
when it's easy to get caught up in tangents, when the bat is not swung. And that's ball 4. So Galindo draws a walk on 5 pitches, and the Ravens have a 1-out base runner. Amy Jones, the batter. Jones at the plate, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Runner going, and the pitch was fouled off.
So that was a bunt attempt, Joe. I don't know if you caught that.
I did not.
Yeah, because I was going to say now the umpire is obstructing your view a little bit. But that was
A lot
indeed
bit.
a bunt, a lot of it.
A lot bit. Yeah.
Yes, so that was a bunt attempt. So let's see if
Yeah.
she comes back with that.
Anything
next
hit
pitch.
up the middle of the diamond, I'm not seeing it.
Let's see.
I'm used to calling the game from
She
an
is.
elevated position as the runner is going, and that is bunted foul.
Very
Count now
good
0-2.
decision by Motley there, allowing that ball to go foul. So the count quickly 0-2, and now the bunt signal will be taken off.
You think
You would think.
it will be. Yeah, they heard last call, Joe.
Our fans at home, they heard the last call for ice cream. There you go. I mean, that was really, really loud.
It was. It was.
Unfortunately, we're not able to really kind of take advantage of it. But
That depends. Where does the leftover go? Usually when I call games on Staten Island, the leftovers go straight to the commentary desk. They know.
I don't think that's the way it works here.
No, it does not. We can't even get an iPhone propped up as a camera on the commentary desk, Joe.
Oh,
You think we're getting ice cream?
Let's not get into that.
You think we're getting ice cream? I'll come with a GoPro on my face next year. We'll attach it to the front of the hat. 0-2 the count on Jones, and that's tapped foul. Here we go, Joe. Another foul ball, and we saw this in the first inning.
That's right.
Jones really tough to put away at the plate. Did strike out her last time up.
Of all the hitters I've seen so far this weekend that the Dolphins have played against, I think she's been the most effective with 2 strikes. Just continuing to battle.
Those slap hitters can be pests, Joe, as that's dribbled down the line. Foul.
It's like riding a merry-go-round.
You would think the infield is sloped from right downward to the left.
Right.
Because everything along that third base line has tailed off into foul ground.
That ball's got that screwy motion where it's kind of tapped off the end of the bat, and where it's hitting
Joe,
relative to where she is in the other batter's box. It's
how
hitting
is
that.
Jones ending up in right field?
She's in right field.
She sprinted down the line through first base and into right field twice.
She just continues to run hard through the base.
She ran a long way, Joe.
She's got excellent fundamentals. What do you want me to tell you?
A lot of the time, your base coach will throw the stop sign up. I think they actually may have just sent the base coach over there from the dugout as Jones punches one through the left side for a base hit. Good attempt on the dive by Balderas, but she couldn't knock it down.
Absolutely would consider that a base hit. Slap hit to left field, effectively using the other field. And even if Balderas was able to make that play, based on the way we've seen Jones run here in the first couple of innings, don't really think she would have had an opportunity to get her at first.
First pitch to Anna Erickson is swung on and missed for strike one. Erickson at the plate, 1 for 2 with a run batted in and a strikeout. Ravens lead it by 5 here in the 5th. 2 on, 1 out. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Throw to third with the runner going is not in time, and Jones will move on up to second as well.
Paul, a little late getting the ball out on the transfer there, and that little delay.
I always say steals of third are concerning. When a team believes that they can steal third on you, that's problematic. And you do it once.
Have been a little more of an aggressive base running team than what we've seen from the Dolphins here the first couple of games.
You do it once in terms of stealing third base. You think, all right, maybe we can do it again. You do it a second time, and all of a sudden now you feel like you can run rampant.
That's out of our reach once again with a foul ball behind us.
Count's still 1-2.
So it's the first real, I think, trouble that Miller has had since she's come into the game. It's a big spot for her. Second and third, 1 out.
She'd get the strikeout. That would be huge. And she misses there. It's 2-2 now, but as I mentioned before, Miller unscored upon since coming in. 2 1/3, 1 base hit, a couple of walks, and 2 strikeouts. And that scoreless outing is in dire jeopardy right now.
She's been very good at keeping the Ravens at bay. Let's see if that continues on this 2-2 count.
And there's
Big
a swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Strikeout.
Big time strikeout for Brooklyn Miller. And there are now 2 gone. Another stray foul ball lands right next to the umpire. That was close.
I'm curious to see what the angling of that was, because it was almost a direct hit, but the way it had to come over the net to the right of us.
I don't know how that ball met. You know what, Joe?
The physics of that,
It must have grazed the net.
Absolutely.
It must have grazed the net.
And I think that's what prevented the umpire from being hit directly, but as it stands, he's all right in the pitch.
Well, if it didn't graze the net, that would have ended up near the Ravens' dugout, I think.
How hard would that must
well,
have hit?
It's going to be a line drive foul ball. It clips the top of the net, lands, and bounces into the umpire. Yeah. Taylor Ellis, the batter.
It's a good thing we studied physics at Staten Island Tech.
That was one of my worst classes, because when you don't attend, you can't. I was about to say something I shouldn't. When you don't attend, it's really difficult to kind of, I don't know, come up with an answer to a physics question. You really can't. You can't make it nice when it's wrong.
Right.
It's not like
Physics is one of those classes you absolutely have to be there for, and
you can't word salad that.
No, you cannot. Physics is physics. Everything is physics.
Yep.
Just like that pop-up is physics. Let's see.
And a basket catch by Balderas may have saved 3 runs,
Absolutely,
Joe.
she saved 3 runs. Excellent play, and let me tell you something. Brooklyn Miller, first sign of trouble, second and third, 1 out. She gets out of it. Excellent pitching.
You love to see it if you're the Dolphins. However, CSI still trails 6-1. And we're back in the home half of the 5th inning. Dolphins trail 6-1. Madeline Paul at the plate behind 0-1 after a first pitch foul ball. Dolphins are going to send some pinch hitters to the plate as well, we've been told. So we're ready for that. As that's popped up on the infield, and boy, Joe, these infielders have been busy today.
Yes, and I think partial that is good pitching, partial that is the wind.
Yeah, a lot of these balls hitting the air have been knocked down. And Corinne DiMartini will get the call as a pinch hitter here.
So as I mentioned, as this week goes on, Coach Tracy Garofalo wants to see what she has in her bullpen, on her bench.
And DiMartini fouls the first pitch back. Just 2 games left here at Legends. This one of them. The sun begins to set here over Claremont. Joe Foreman alongside Joe Calabrese on the call for CSI Sportsnet.
I'll tell you something today, not having that sun directly in our face has kind of improved the quality here because we were really battling that yesterday, I would say, over the second portion of that second game.
Today would have been the day to have video because you'd actually be able to see what was happening.
Yep. Yesterday we
No eclipse.
No, yesterday was eclipse season. Came early.
Told you after the game, if I was umpiring that game yesterday, I would have loved a photo of myself standing in the eclipse.
Counts 1-2.
Pitch on its way. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Well, perhaps not. The scoreboard had the wrong count. Apparently I had the wrong count as well. It's 2-2.
Okay, so I'm sorry, it was 2-1 there. So the scoreboard here had 1 and 2. DiMartino with the swing and the miss there, so now it is 2 and 2. Good rip.
That's it well to left, but barely having to move out there.
I don't think she moved at all.
Was Williams. Yeah, she didn't have to move much.
Good rip, but the worst part is when it's a good hit and it just hit it right at somebody.
The Atom ball.
That's right.
The old Atom ball. Mariah Carcano, the batter. Back to the top of the order for the Dolphins.
Somebody's alarm went off.
Somebody's?
That's yours.
That's really darn close. As a diving catch is made on the lip of the outfield, grasped by Williams. What a grab by Williams, robbing Carcano of a 2-out hit.
You know,
we are through 5 in Claremont.
Shoestring catch gets thrown around, but that was a true shoestring catch.
Dolphins trail 6-1. 6th inning from Claremont. The Dolphins trail by 5. Meanwhile, Brooklyn Meller continues in the circle working on a scoreless outing. And she's pitched really well. At the plate here for Franklin Pierce. To open up the road 6th is Danielle Beliveau. Beliveau 0 for 2 at the plate. And she is now in a 1-1 count with that last foul ball. Dolphins infield, way in.
Way in. I was just about to say
Way
that.
in.
Seems like Warner's way in at second base over there.
She is really far in. She's almost in the circle, Joe. And that's hit right to Balderas, who is positioned perfectly. They know what they're doing over there.
They definitely know what they're doing.
Beliveau retired for the first out. Andy Anderson will be the batter. Anderson 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Just had a home run on the field behind us. We haven't had a home run in any of our games yet, Joe.
No. We've come close, I think, at least twice.
Would you believe me?
There's that one fly ball earlier in this game that went all the way to center field, and I just think whoever will hit that just missed it.
Anderson had 1-0 here, awaiting the 1-0 pitch. That's fouled off. Now, Joe, would you believe me if I told you that I called a game with 2 inside the park home runs in it for baseball?
Where were we playing?
In Myrtle Beach last week.
Now, the dimensions of the field, were they typical dimensions?
Standard. I think it was 382 in center, so a bit more shallow than a full-sized park. But one play there was an injury, and the other one there was a bit of a miscue.
Okay.
But it was an inside the park home run scoring nonetheless.
And that's fouled off, and that slices just to the left of the chalk in left field.
1-2 on Anderson.
Come on, Choose. Come on, drive the middle. Let's go. Come on, Choose.
Here comes the 1-2. Up and away.
Yeah.
2-2. Fouled off again.
Took a little something off of that pitch. And it was Anderson who kind of held back and swung late there. Fought that off and fouled it off again.
Well, Joe, it's not just one or two batters. This entire Ravens lineup is full of tough outs.
Yeah, I'll say.
That slapped foul. A lot of slap hitters.
There's a coach down there right outside the Ravens dugout. Once again, these coaches with these cat-like reflexes. Most of them former Division II, Division I athletes themselves. But yeah, going back to your point, I mean, 2 strikes all day against these Ravens hitters doesn't matter. How many foul balls have we seen with 2 strikes today from them? At least
Too
20.
many.
I was
Too
gonna say
many.
At least 20.
I was going to say more than too many.
30.
As Anderson takes ball 3, the count's full now, 3-2.
It really has to be upwards of 25 or 30.
It's a lot.
Because Amy Jones herself has like 10.
She might have more than that, Joe. She might have 15 by herself.
Another ball on
Coliseum
the
now
field.
depositing foul balls onto our field. Count full, 3-2. 1 away, base is empty in the road 6th inning. Wouldn't you know it, Joe? Another foul ball.
31. She's going to operate under the assumption that's the 31st foul
Let's go.
ball with 2
It's a
strikes.
shame
for the
I didn't
Ravens in this
keep the
game.
pitch sequence in the box. Could have seen how many foul balls there were. You can't keep it there. You can keep it here, so you can go batter by batter and see every pitch sequence. We'll have that set up for tomorrow. In fact, I could do it right now. Let's set that up. Dribbler back to the circle. Meller has it. Throw to first. In time.
In time.
What do you think, Joe?
Absolutely. I think the throw just beats the runner there. That was close. That's a bang play.
I don't know about that one. But I'm not going to dispute it.
Unfortunately, we don't have video
That's right.
to go back to that.
That's right. My cell phone camera in 4K.
I don't think your cell phone camera will be able to get that
My
in.
cell phone camera would have caught that in 4K all day long. It does have a 4K camera. First pitch to Haley Bigwood in for a strike.
So what do we have Neller up unofficially at 63 pitches?
That should be pretty close to right.
Right. I'll tell you something. She has really stabilized this game. Unfortunately, the Dolphins haven't been able to chop off any runs off the total. However, she herself has pitched excellently since she came into the game in the 3rd.
Count now even 1-1. That last pitch missing. So, Joe, Brooklyn's in your van?
Yes.
Okay, so if she ends up completing this game without allowing a run, you can say that she earned the group a trip to Texas Roadhouse?
No, they get Texas Roadhouse only if they win.
Oh.
So they split today. So unfortunately, I don't think Texas Roadhouse is in the cards. I wouldn't
too
be
bad.
opposed to another Dutch Bros trip though.
Okay.
And good coffee yesterday. I personally got the Kokomo. A couple of them got birthday shakes. There was a normal iced coffee order in the mix, and there was something else.
All right. I've never been a coffee guy. That's hit sharply to second. Warner knocks it down. And Acosta can't glove it at first. It gets away. Now Paul throws to second.
That's a very good throw.
And the runner is safe.
Wow.
So, Joe, was that hit hard enough to give a base hit?
No, I would give the error to Warner on that
Yeah.
play. Yeah. Yes, the ball was hit hard, but I think she was in a position.
It was right at her.
Right at her to make the play.
On the ground.
On the ground, and the throw as well was not clean. So definitely give the E4 on that play. However, that throw from Madeline Paul to back to second base there to try to get the runner going to second, that was close over there.
I thought they had her, but I can't see the base, so
Right.
I wouldn't know.
Right. It seems like
It's
the
covered
throw
in dirt.
beat her, but I don't know if the tag was applied before she got to the base.
Bella Williams, the batter, and she looks at a strike.
And now that runner at second has got a significant lead. She's about a quarter of the way to third base.
Well, Joe, I said it before. Once a team knows they can steal third on you, they're going to keep doing it.
And they may
And
do
I
it
would
again
not
here.
be surprised
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
she runs. Also,
And she was going there. She's about third of the way down now as that ball was lifted foul. Another good swing by Williams. She had one before that was really, really good.
something to keep in mind, Joe, when the corners play in, it makes that a tough cover at third because
Absolutely.
you're running back potentially into the path of the runner.
Right.
And as a right-handed third baseman, it makes it very awkward to receive that throw and tag.
Yes.
And obviously your third baseman, more often than not, is going to be right-handed.
Right. And also with the
It's a
right-handed
tough
batter,
play.
there's the dynamic of the catcher finding enough room to make the straight throw to
Yeah.
third.
Yep.
There's a lot of components to this.
Yeah.
And it's such a rare play. You don't see anybody stealing third too often, so we'll
No.
see if that happens here.
Hey!
And the 0-2's in the dirt. Throw
There you
goes
go.
to third. And
Throw goes to third. That's a very alert and smart play by Madeline Paul. You got to keep the runner on second in this situation, even though there's 2 outs and the count's 1-2. Now it's 1-2.
the temptation there is to show off the cannon and throw behind the runner at second.
No, but if that's the case, then the runner goes to
That
third.
was the
You
right
have to-
play.
the throw always has to go to the lead base, and you always have to chase the runner back to the base they came from.
That's hitting the air out to left center. Carcano coming in on it and makes the catch. Side retired. The Ravens strand a runner in scoring position, and the Dolphins will come to bat in the 6th, trailing 6-1. Home 6th inning from the spring games. The Dolphins still trail by 5. Their lone run coming in the 3rd inning. The Ravens scored 6 across the first 2 innings, and since then, Brooklyn Meller has not allowed a run to come home.
As I mentioned, she has really stabilized the game for the Dolphins after that really not great start in the first 2 innings. We'll see if they can put a run across here. They have 6 outs to work with. Maybe chip down that total to a more manageable deficit for the final inning.
Well, now's a good time to get started. 2, 3, 4 due up for the Dolphins here in the 6th. Valderas, Acosta, and Warner.
The heart of the lineup going to get one more opportunity to start a rally.
That's hit to third slowly. And the throw is high. Valderas is safe.
I think that's an infield hit. It was hit
Really?
slowly enough. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
even
about
if the
that.
throw's online, that's a bang-bang play.
It was close, but a good throw, and she's out.
I don't
That's
know
an error.
about that. She ran hard down the line.
She did. That's a throwing error. A good
Okay.
throw, and she's out.
All right.
I mean, I love to give our Dolphins some hits, but if the throw is good, she's out. Simple as. That's popped up by Anissa Acosta, and she's retired on 1 pitch. That will bring up Olivia Warner.
Ice Spice once again making an appearance in Claremont, Florida. Listen, she's an incredibly busy individual, so we thank her for her time. A timeout here. It seems like an equipment issue for the pitcher and the Ravens.
So they're working on the equipment, as you said, Joe, but unfortunately for Ice Spice, She also is going to appear in the box score with 2 errors on 1 play.
She's not going to be too thrilled with that.
Well, we need to be accurate because
Fair.
that's how we do things. We make sure we get it right.
That's what we do here. Make sure the broadcast is as accurate, true to what's happening as possible. With that comes some hard decisions.
That one wasn't too hard. So they're working on a belt issue at the moment, and the game has come to a halt.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. So the adjustment is now complete.
I think they had a spare on the bench. One away, home 6th inning. The Dolphins with a base runner on first. Olivia Warner, the batter, awaiting the first pitch. That's it pretty well out to deep left center field. And once again, the wind knocks that ball down. Warner is out, and there are 2 away.
You know, that is the 3rd ball, I think, that the Dolphins have hit right on the screws in this game to a deep portion of the outfield. 2 of the gap, maybe 1 right at one of the outfielders. And I'll tell you something, that may have been the Dolphins, I think, overall, outside of that Balderas hit from the first game of yesterday, probably the Dolphins' overall best hit contact of the 4 games. And again, just hung up, and that wind, Joe, playing a factor.
I think that one may have been the hardest hit ball that the
Absolutely.
wind absolutely killed.
Balderas' hit from that first game wasn't nearly as well hit, but it was hit in such a great position that split the outfielders perfectly.
That's fouled off.
Dolphins have been working good counts, getting good contact. Fortunately, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair statement much of the time. Wind blowing straight in from the outfield as Wanzer fouls that one back. Count remains 0-2. Wanzer at the plate 0 for 2 in this game. Had a hit in game 1.
And she was one of the Dolphins players in this game who elevated a ball deep into the outfield. I believe it was left field, and the left fielder had to make a play to her left last time.
Just taking a look out right now. With an 0-2 count and 2 outs, there is a conference in the circle for the Ravens right now. So we will wait a bit longer for the 0-2 pitch. And thinking back to the last at bat, I can actually tell you how she's been retired. 2 fly balls.
Yeah, 2 fly balls, and like I said, I think the last at bat, the first one was a shallow fly ball, and I think the last at bat had that deep fly ball to left. So again, that ball was well hit. The one that Warner just hit was well hit. Really good contact from the Dolphins in the middle latter portions of this game. Just have not been able to find enough space to get those hits to land.
Count 0-2 on Wanzer. 2 outs here in the home 6th. And Wanzer takes high.
Good idea to take there.
Comes the 1-2, and that's high. 2-2.
Once again, trying to go up the chute. 2 consecutive pitches, and from 0-2, the count levels off at 2-2.
Comes the 2-2.
Yep.
And that's hit well to left. Does this one have enough?
And yes, it's off
It's
the
off
fence.
the fence. Heading home and scoring is Balderas. And Olivia Wanzer stands on second with an RBI double.
Now, I think that was the best Dolphins hit of the 4 games so far. And once again, hitting it to the left field. This time that ball had a little more carry to it, fighting the wind. And she was a couple of free from getting that over the fence and hitting a home run, Joe. So excellent play there by Wanzer. It's now 6-2.
Well, Joe, that run is unearned.
Yes, correct. Because of that error from third base.
Everything from this point forward in the inning will be unearned. But the Dolphins now, as you said, looking to perhaps chip away a bit and make it more manageable. Trail now by 4, and with a base hit here, they could really pull
Depends on
themselves
where
within
that
striking
hit is
distance.
placed. But you got to think Wanzer is going from second regardless. Tracy's going to want to try to chip off one more run off this total.
I'm actually surprised that they didn't pinch run for Wanzer here. They haven't used a pinch runner for her yet, have they?
I do not. I think in the last game, right?
They did in the last game, but not in this game.
That is correct. Not in this game.
And that's hit hard through the right side
Let's
for a
see if
base
she's coming
hit.
home. She's going to stay at third. Good decision. Ball
Well,
was hit well,
Joe,
but not hard enough. And
if they had the pinch runner in,
I don't think they're.
I think there's a chance.
now because
Slim.
the right
Slim
fielder,
chance.
the right fielder got that ball back into
It
the
was hit
infield,
hard.
and just even if a pinch runner was in the game, I don't think it would have made a significant difference. So
I think, could a pinch runner have scored? Maybe. Do I think Tracy should have or would have tried it? No.
no, I don't think so. But now we have Amanda Stalker here, 2 outs, runners on the corners now. See if they can get that running from third.
And Stalker takes a knee-high strike. 0-1. Stalker at the plate in this game, 0 for 2.
And I'll tell you something. I think 6'3" is much different than 6'2".
No doubt. No doubt. It's a big at-bat here. And an extra base hit could potentially make this a 2-run game. Stalker now with a 1-1 count.
I think head coach Tracy Garofalo's got to love how her team has battled in these innings. Good pitching, couple good hits.
And that is
Base
smoked
hit
into left
by
field for a
Amanda
base
Stalker.
hit. Wanzer in to score. Motley up to second. Stalker on first. The Dolphins are fired up, and it's now 6-3.
Making a little more interesting, Joe. And that ball was smoked to left.
That ball was hit hard.
I would say over the course of the last inning, we've seen the 3 hardest hit balls between Warner, between Wanzer, and then between Stalker there. So once again, Tracy's got to love how these girls have battled here, especially in the middle later innings.
Well, you think about it all the time when you see a lopsided score early in a game, and I said it during the first inning. We're going to learn a lot about this Dolphins team after they fell behind 5-0 and trailing 6-1 going into this half inning. Obviously not a great position to be in, but they've battled, as you said, Joe, and you have to like what you've seen from them, even if they go on to lose this game against a very talented Franklin Pierce team. And now the Dolphins will bring the tying run to the plate, trailing by 3 here in the 6th. And the Ravens, it appears, are going to make a pitching change, but that's taking some time here, which leads me to believe there may be multiple changes. It looks like Hartenstein's going to come back in and catch. She has all of her gear on. So get your phone out, Joe. Get the notes section ready in case we have multiple changes.
Which we are probably going to have to
It
make.
looks that way. It looks like multiple changes forthcoming. We'll see, though. All right, so the only change is going to be in the flex spot as the Ravens bring on a new pitcher. It was a good outing for Kennedy Morris, who worked 5 2/3. Her final line, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run, no walks and a strikeout. Now, Joe, how would you pronounce Georgia's last name? Clough or Clow?
Clow.
Clow? Needed a second opinion. So Georgia Clow, the new pitcher.
A lot of Franklin Pierce supporters around us. Maybe they can give us a better answer.
They usually can. Unfortunately, that answer usually comes after the fact and in the form of grumblings and
Right.
malcontent.
She's from British Columbia. So the Canadian...
Is it?
I would say Clow, right?
Okay, that's what I'm going to say.
Okay. I
So
hope
Georgia
we're
Clow, the new pitcher, right-hander
I hope we're
for
right.
the Ravens, will come on to face Madeline Paul. Behind Paul, Alyssa Acosta, who came on in place of Jennifer Cohen, who left with an injury. Corinne DiMartini hit for Acosta during her last at-bat. And Acosta, if Paul can keep the inning going, would get a chance here in the 6th. And here comes Madeline Paul to the plate. Dolphins trail by 3. have shaved 2 runs off the lead here in the 6th. And a base hit here, Joe, really makes this game interesting. It would put the tying run on.
I imagine on the right, a rightly placed hit ball, Tracy's going to send not Stalker.
Joe, look up.
Ooh, look at that.
It's looking a bit dark.
Yeah, we've had some clouds coming in here. The first set of clouds we've really seen. But I don't
That
think
is
anything.
a dark cloud. Right over the field. It's blue
yeah.
skies all around elsewhere. And Paul takes outside. The count 1-1 on the Dolphins catcher.
Got to think the Ravens have sent the clouds in.
The old disclaimer, weather permitting. Here comes the 1-1. In for a called strike. 1-2.
That was a really well-placed pitch, Joe.
Paul didn't like the call. Count now 1-2. Ravens 1 strike away from limiting the damage. Pitch to the backstop. Both runners will advance.
I'll tell you something, Joe. This game just got a lot more interesting on that wild pitch.
That's a big one.
Now Madeline Paul's got to lock in because presumably a single or any type of hit will get 1 run in. And now you're looking at the possibility of 2 runs.
Now it looks like there is discussion going on here with the Ravens. Speaking with the home plate umpire, it looks like they have a problem with perhaps a Dolphins substitution of some kind. That's what it looks like. They're going to the lineup card right now. And I think they have an issue with something the Dolphins have done. Now, there have been no changes in either Motley or Stalker's position or Paul's position in the lineup.
No, not at
So
all.
it looks like there was a mistake perhaps on the Ravens lineup card. But the home plate umpire has what we have. Comes the 2-2, and that is swung on and missed on a pitch out of the zone. So the Dolphins strand 2 in scoring position, but they do get 2 back.
That's right.
And the score entering the 7th, now 6-3. 7th inning from Claremont. The Dolphins trail by 3. At the plate here, Kaylee Frond looks at a strike. 0-1. Frond at the plate, 1 for 3 with a run batted in. The Ravens looking for some insurance here in the 7th. Their lead has been cut to 3. The Dolphins scored a pair with 2 outs in the 6th. That pitch misses high. Brooklyn Meller still in there for the Dolphins.
She's been a trooper, Joe. She's pitched really well since coming in since the 3rd.
She's allowed just 1 hit, walked 2, and has struck out 3 in 4 innings. Comes the 1-1. That's off the outside corner for ball 2.
The Dolphins coaches have to be really impressed with her performance.
Absolutely, and I think you have to be impressed with the entire pitching staff so far on this trip.
And I'll tell you something, even though she's only allowed 1 hit, I mean, the Ravens are still putting together really good at-bats in that stretch.
And that ball's hit hard down the left field line for an extra base hit. It rolls into the corner as Frond heads for second, and she's in sliding with a leadoff double.
Well, that total just doubled now to 2. With a double down the left field line, that's a really good swing. So we saw Brooklyn Miller battle adversity. What inning was it? The 4th inning? A couple of innings ago. And she was able to battle back with runners on 2nd and 3rd and 1 out and get out of it. So with a leadoff double here, she's going to have the opportunity to do it again.
Ravens in the process of making a change here. I think it may be a pinch runner at 2nd, and it will be. So it's going to be Clow, who is the current pitcher, running at 2nd. First pitch to Zoe Galindo in for a called strike. Galindo, without an official at bat, drew a walk in her lone plate appearance. That came after she entered as a pinch runner. Count now even at 1-1. Comes the 1-1. That's fouled off. Count now 1-2. Joe?
Yes.
Sky's getting a bit darker and it's getting a bit windy. We better break down quick.
Yeah, I'm looking off into the distance. It's gotten cloudy. Doesn't really seem rainy cloudy, though, but more clouds in the sky.
Hope you're right. I hope you're right. I don't like how dark it is here right now. As that swung on and missed, Galindo got a piece, though. And I think that one was chopped down into the plate. It then bounced into Paul's glove.
Yes.
So Galindo stays alive. 1-2. Time called. And I think they're going to check on that last pitch by request of the Dolphins dugout.
There you go. There you go. Absolutely confirm what you said. Foul
Mazzo!
tipped.
You know I'm right.
Down. You know I'm right. Somewhere that Sportsnet Nick is watching and he's concurring.
Comes the 1-2. And that's hit softly to short. Valderas looks the runner back, throws to first in time.
Let me tell you something. That's a great play because that in-between hop, you know, if you're not paying attention and looking the ball into the glove, sometimes that can get you. She sees that ball into the glove well, sees the runner back to second, makes a good throw, gets the runner out of first. For the first out here in the top of the seventh.
I think we're getting a pinch hitter here, Joe. And we sure are.
It's 5 for 12, Joe.
Maisie Lorette will be the pinch hitter here. So Lorette gets her first at bat of the game. She faces Meller and takes low for ball 1. I have Meller up at somewhere around 80 pitches.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. Even
Dolphins,
if it's a couple pitches off, right? Still pretty accurate. I mean, it's been an excellent performance regardless of what happens in this inning.
That's on the inside corner for a called strike, 1-1. Well, the Dolphins have not had to use more than 2 pitchers in a game yet. That is big. Comes the 1-1. Off speed pitch misses high. 2-1. Comes the 2-1. That's on the outside corner for a called strike 2.
Big pitch here for Brooklyn Neller, Joe. Let's see what she does with it.
First base is open. A runner in scoring position on second. 1 out in the road 7th. Here comes the 2-2. That's popped up in foul ground. Playable. And Acosta is there to make the catch for the second out.
So after that leadoff double, Joe, we have consecutive outs.
At the plate now, Anna Erickson. Erickson's 1 for 3 with a run batted in, a couple of strikeouts. Ravens looking to get one of the 2 runs they allowed back as Erickson takes inside ball 1. Comes the 1-0. That's in for a called strike.
I believe the chant from the Ravens dugout is BANANAS. You know what that spells?
Yes. It does not spell yes. That's grounded softly to third, and boy, that was close.
I'll tell you something.
Wow,
Ooh,
it got
I
under
tell you
Motley's glove,
something.
and the Dolphins caught a break.
You know what? From our vantage point, and
From
again,
our angle, it
we
didn't
don't
look
have
fair.
a perfect view down the third baseline, but it seemed like that ball maybe trickled to the left of the base right at the last second. I mean, that ball looked like it was going right over the base.
It looked fair from here, but the fact that there was no protest from the Ravens
Right.
assures me it was foul, even
Right.
though it looked fair. And that's blooped over Motley and into left field for a base hit. Clow in to score, and it's a 2-out RBI single for Anna Erickson.
And that ball was just out of the reach of Motley at third. Not really anything you could do with that.
Now,
Because she has to play up a little bit for
Question.
obvious reasons.
On the previous play,
Yes.
if she gloves the ball, does she glove it in fair territory? Out of curiosity.
Out
Because
of curiosity.
if she makes that play, I think the inning's over.
I think so too.
Just a tough
And
break.
again, there's no protest there, but again, from our vantage point, it
Well,
looked
yeah,
like that.
no protest, but if she got the glove on it, I think it might have been in fair territory.
I would happen to agree with you, again, based on where we're sitting.
Taylor Ellis, the batter. It's 0-1, and she takes up and away.
As it stands, that is a huge hit for the Ravens. And that's a huge blow to the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's a demoralizing one with 2 outs in the inning. First run Mellor's allowed. He's allowed 2 hits in the inning. And the count is now 2-1 on Ellis. Though it's a late strike call.
It's a
stand
late
corrected.
strike. All right, that's a strike on the outer portion of the plate as Paul feigned the throw to first.
Yeah, the call came well after the feigned throw, which is why I assumed it was a ball. Count 1-2. And that's hit to short. Balderas easily handles the hop, and that was awfully close.
That was awfully close. I'll tell you something, these Ravens have great base runners.
That'll do it for the Ravens in the 7th, but they do get 1 run back. Some insurance for Franklin Pierce. They now lead Staten Island 7-3. And we are back from Claremont. Bottom half of the 7th, Dolphins trail by 4. At the plate, pinch hitting for CSI's Paige Bell. And she's behind now 1-2. We had to get our substitutions in order for the Ravens. They made some more changes, but we got that all sorted out. And I don't know if you can hear it, Joe, and it's noticeable to me anyway this close. Georgia Clow is throwing hard. Do you hear the pop of that?
Oh,
mitt?
yeah, I was going to say, she came in last inning and she was throwing hard, and it seems like the MO from the very get-go was for her to just attack.
There's a swing and a miss. Bell way behind that fastball, and there's one away. Clow would be eligible to pick up a save in this game.
Yep.
If she's able to finish here in the 7th. Mariah Carcano, the batter, takes down and away ball 1. Joe, this game now is running at about the 2-hour and 15-minute mark.
We've called some long games
We
here
have
the
called
first 2 days.
several marathons. I cannot remember the last time I called a 2-hour softball game. We have called multiple 2-hour games.
I think this is the third of the 4 games that's gone 2 hours.
Count even at 1 on Carcano.
And the sun is setting here in Claremont, Florida.
Whoa, I flinched.
You flinched.
I did.
I wouldn't have flinched. I sat here.
That is the first time I've flinched in a while. That one straight to the backstop. It's so abnormal that I notice when I do it. That was like one of the 3D effects in the movie. I think what got me is that it wasn't a foul ball.
Right.
I didn't see the ball, and then everyone moved out of the way, and it came straight through to me. That's the first time in years. Historic moment.
I know. tell you something, Joe. Based on what I'm seeing, these Dolphin swings are very late here.
Well, I'm going to have to go take a timeout for the rest of the game, Joe, for flinching. This call is yours. 2-2 the count on Carcano, and she chops one foul. Carcano hitless in this game, 0 for 3.
Thank you for operating the scoreboard. Appreciate it. It helps during the game. Helps keep us track of the pitch count.
Two and two remains the count on Carcano. And she hits one to short. Bigwood has it, and the throw's not in time.
She is.
Yeah, Carcano with too much speed.
Now, how are you going to rule that?
How am I going to rule? That's a hit, Joe.
That's a base hit. There you go.
How am I going to rule that? What do you think this is, amateur hour?
We have an agreement over here as well. So the Dolphins with one out here. Staying alive.
That run, that insurance run, Joe, is
That's
huge.
That was really a backbreaker.
Now, if you have Carcano on with one out and Balderas and Acosta coming up,
do not be
she
surprised
is not going anywhere down by 4 runs. I hope.
I would not be surprised if they push the issue here.
Joe, if they try and steal down 4 and don't get it, that would be an all-time blunder. Not having the force at second would be nice, but you don't risk it.
Yeah.
As Balderas hits one to short, and the throw to first is in time. 2 gone. That will bring up Anissa Acosta with the Dolphins down to their final out. Dolphins being out hit by just 1. Hits favor the Ravens 8-7. But in that first inning, the Dolphins just couldn't get out of it. And that's the difference in the game right now.
And there were a couple of series of throwing errors as well, mixed in between.
There were a bunch of unearned runs in that first inning, Joe.
Right. Of the 5, only, 2 were earned?
Yeah, I think so.
And you had 3 unearned?
Yep.
Yeah, so they did themselves no favors throwing the ball a little bit.
Nope. Those mistakes hurt. And against a team like Franklin Pierce, you can't make those mistakes. And for the most part, the Dolphins had been generally mistake-free in their other games.
From that first inning on. And again, Brooklyn Naylor came in the 3rd inning, and she pitched extremely well. Don't let that 1 run that she gave up fool you. She was really, really good.
There's a strike on the outside corner, 1-2 now. Dolphins down to their final strike. Comes the 1-2. Hit sharply, but foul. Dolphins would need 2 more base runners to get the tying run to the plate. Carcano in scoring position right now at second. You do have Warner and Wanzer behind Acosta, so definitely some pop in the bats behind TJ here if she can get on. But she's behind 1-2. Here comes the 1-2. Foul back.
Woo!
That one didn't get me, though.
Rang off the pipe. What a direct shot. But this time there was no camera there. Actually, the camera's to the left of us this time, Joe.
Hopefully pointed at the field.
Got to think that foul ball from yesterday actually knocked the camera back into appropriate
It might have.
place.
It might have. Another 1-2. Outside. Comes the 2-2. Fouled away, and you can see it, Joe. Acosta just a bit late.
They've been a bit late on these swings from the last inning on.
The good news is, if you're Acosta, the more of these you see, the easier it becomes to get around on one.
Got to try to start that swing a little bit earlier.
It remains 2-2. Pitch on its way. Popped up. Foul ball. Well, we've seen it all game, Joe. Plenty of lengthy at-bats. The Ravens specifically, foul ball after foul ball. In many cases, Acosta not going down without a fight here in the home seventh. It's still 2-2. Pitch on its way. And Acosta swings and misses for strike 3. And the Ravens have handed the Dolphins their first loss of the 2025 season as they defeat CSI 7-3. Dolphins in this game finished with 3 runs on 7 hits, 3 errors, one of those a big one back in the first inning. The Ravens 7 runs on 8 hits with a couple of errors. So the Dolphins are through 2 days here in Claremont at the spring games. Overall in the season, they are 5-1. They are now 3-1 here in Florida, and they will be right back at it early tomorrow morning as they take the field at 10 a.m. Joe, any final thoughts?
Really well played game despite the score from both teams because, once again, I think Brooklyn Neller came in and stabilized the game for the Dolphins. Both teams put together really, really good at-bats. And I think the big takeaway from the Dolphins here is after letting that really bad first inning get away from them, they did their best to try to chop off the total. Had a bunch of good at-bats, had a bunch of really good hits to the outfield. So I think you can build on that as the week continues here in Claremont.
Well, the good news for me, Joe, is that tomorrow when the Dolphins take on Southwest Minnesota State University, 1, they played a really good game against them last year. 2, they get to play them twice tomorrow. And 3, I don't have to score either of those games.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You and I get to focus exclusively on the call tomorrow. That should make this a lot easier. We've had a blast so far. 2 days in the books here at the spring games. The Dolphins fall in this one 7-3. They are now 3-1 here in Florida, 5-1 on the season. Be sure to join us back here on CSI Sportsnet tomorrow as Joe and I will be back on the call as the Dolphins take on Southwest Minnesota